I skipped a whole day of filming because I wanted to just charge through the process of getting the starter out of the car. I was successful, guys. I am so happy. It took a lot of trial and error, but I went ahead and got the starter out of the car, and now we're going to clean it up. And I got a new solenoid for it. We got the motor to put back together. That's still soaking in the part solution. So the biggest reason that I think I got the starter out of the car so easy, even though it wasn't so easy, it took 2.5 days of me under the car just contemplating life. But I went ahead and removed, there's 2 bolts that go through the actual starter motor. Once you undo those, you can take off the actual starter motor and what drives the actual starter. So then those remove and you get better access at everything to do with the starter here. And just decided to reach over the differential and go ahead and try and pull the whole starter. And then once I got these bolts loose, a lot of people complained about not being able to remove the starter, but since the motor was already out, you are able to snake it out, literally just flip it out, and it fit right through that hole. So super excited on that. We're gonna go ahead and clean this up, obviously. We'll pull this solenoid off, and we'll either put, I have a new one here, front piece fell off, it's in the box there, but we've got a new solenoid here to replace it. We're probably better off doing that. The motor should be fine with fresh brushes and everything all cleaned up, and then we'll reinstall everything. We'll test it before we put it in the car. And yeah, I'm not gonna torque these bolts back down if for any reason I have to take it back apart. I'm just gonna use some lock washers, or what are they? The spring-loaded washers that compress down, and we'll tighten it as much as I can, but I'm not going to torque it to the spec that they had it torqued at. That was absurd how tight those bolts were. So we're just going to leave it like that, and hopefully we'll never have to touch it again. But yeah. So I went ahead and drilled the heads of each bolt off and got the solenoid off of this housing here. I may have messed up the mounting hole just a tad bit, but yeah, so it is disconnected. I will use this bolt. We'll go to Ace and get a matching bolt that fits inside the solenoid. What's really sad is these bolts are loose, so I didn't do anything, I just pulled it apart. They're finger tight. The issue with cars, this one came from Maryland and New Jersey. The car was bought new in Maryland and driven in New Jersey for like 4 or 5 years. But that is, I'm assuming, where like all the corrosion, like the surface. Same with the mounting bolt for where this mounted to the transmission. Those were just on there so tight, it was ridiculous, like trying to get those off. The bolts weren't even that tight, really. It was just the corrosion layer, just where it fused to the aluminum, is just absurd. So I was thinking this thing was going to be like crazy corroded and like not even functioning, but it seems pretty smooth. It must be like an internal failure or something. Maybe the contacts inside just went to crap. Yeah, and then all of this stuff looks pretty gross. We're gonna drop it in. We're gonna drop it in the penetrating oil bath for a few days, like we did with the other stuff, and really just like free all of the stuff up inside here, so everything works smoothly. So I think that will be it for tonight. We got that off. We're gonna soak it in some penetrating oil and some seafoam, and let it sit overnight, maybe the next 2 nights. I'm not sure how much I'm going to work on it. Like I said, I do have a dirt bike race coming up, so got to do some practice and training for that so I don't look like an idiot out there. And yeah, we'll get this stuff all sorted out. Hopefully by next week we can have the car back together, running. I was figuring once it's apart like it is now, I might as well order all of the parts that I want to order for it. So we might be getting some more performance parts and such for the car, and we'll just do it all in one, because I feel like once it's back together, I'm not going to want to take it back apart. So yeah, we're just gonna, I think we're just gonna go ahead and do it up. Not too crazy of a build, but it's definitely going to be faster than the Jetta, so stay tuned.